If you clicked on this video, that means that you want to buy a house in 2025 and you're looking in the greater Austin area. I'm talking Bastrop, Smithville, Elgin, Dripping Springs, Austin itself, Pflugerville, Hutto, San Marcos, that general area. This video is specifically made for people who want to buy a house in that general area. So if you're not, you can click away, but if you're still interested, keep watching because we're going to go over every single thing you need to know to buy a house in 2025. And one thing that I found out is that most people don't really know what all it actually takes to buy a house. So there's going to be a mortgage breakdown, your monthly payment, what is all associated with that, and pretty much every single financial detail that you're going to be paying when you're buying a house, because ultimately it comes down to the money. If it was free, everybody'd be buying a house right now. And just for numbers' sake, we're going to be using a simple $300,000 house. So all these numbers and figures you're going to hear today are based on if you bought a $300,000 house, okay? $300,000. Got it? All right, now you're ready. So the first thing that you're actually going to want to do is not to be doom scrolling on Zillow, okay? It's fine and you can do it throughout this process, but if you actually want to get started, then what you're going to do is you're going to get a pre-approval from a mortgage broker, a lender, whoever. I would recommend speaking with a licensed agent in the area who works with a lot of mortgage brokers to find you the best one. Because mortgage brokers, what they actually do is they shop all of the best loans for you. So you're not going to your bank directly and asking for what they have. Someone is going out for you, advocating for you, and finding you the best interest rate and the best loan that suits your needs. So talk to a lender. But you're probably wondering, what do I even say to this guy? I don't even know him, and I just call him, and now he's asking me for my social security number and how much money I make, how many dogs I have, and how much food I eat for breakfast, okay? I understand it's a lot, and what you need to ask him is just to get a pre-approval. But make sure you don't get a hard pull at first. Make sure you're working with a licensed professional, and you're not getting like 8 hard pulls, because that will have a negative effect on your credit. So now that you are pre-approved, what's next? Well, now you know how much you can afford and if it's within your actual budget. Because sometimes you get a pre-approval and you're like, man, I really can't afford that. So guess what? You shop within that price range. But never go all the way up. If you get pre-approved for a $300,000 house, you probably want to buy like a $250,000 house, because those payments add up quick and you might have to get a new car tomorrow. You know, anything can happen. So make sure you're always happily within your budget. You do not want to be house poor. Now that you have your pre-approval, you know how much you can afford, now you can start shopping for houses. But you need to clarify and really nail down what you actually want. Whether you need a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, you need to nail down, figure out why you want it, what you need, and what you can actually afford within that thing. Because if all the 3 bedrooms in your area are $500,000, but you can only afford $300,000, then maybe you need to be open to a 2-bedroom. So, just for example, that is what you need to do next. Clarify, classify, and define what your needs are and your wants are in the perfect home for you. And now that you know what you're looking for, you can go find the best buyer's agent to help you out. I would always recommend working with a buyer's agent because, one, it doesn't actually cost you anything up front. You do pay for it on the back end because you're the one bringing the money to the closing table to buy the house. But up front, it is way easier and way better to work with someone who does this for a living versus trying to figure it out for yourself. And when you're looking for that agent, make sure they have an actual track record of working with people just like you. Because if not, they're going to be a somebody agent and not your agent, okay? Not every agent is meant to work with you. There's agents who need to work with other people, and there's people like you who need to work with other agents, okay? So find the best personality suiting and actual professional to help you find your perfect house and make sure you're actually buying a good deal. But say now you've already found the house, what do? All right, so you're gonna put in an offer. And when you put in this offer, make sure you go through all of the terms and fully understand how much you're offering, what your down payment's gonna be, and everything included. Your agent and your lender should be able to help you. Your agent and your lender should be able to tell you how much things are gonna cost based on the purchase price and the loan amount of everything. And offers, they can be pretty confusing, especially if you're not working with an actual professional. So if you need help with anything like that, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll help you out. But now you've put in the offer and now your contract is accepted and now you're under contract to buy the house. What's next? What you're going to be doing is a sequence of different events. There's going to be inspections, appraisals, and other little line items that need to be done along the way to get to closing. So the first thing that you need to do literally right away is get your inspection. You're going to have a normal inspection by a licensed inspector, and what they're going to do is inspect the entire home and let you know everything that's wrong with it. It's literally their job to figure out what is wrong with the house. You might want to do a sewer inspection or a wood destroying insects inspection, which is just for termites basically. So what you need to do is get that inspection done as fast as humanly possible, because most likely you only have about 7 days for your inspection contingency. And if you're wondering what the inspection contingency is, it's something you pay for up front. It's normally about $100. It's also called an option period. It is non-refundable, but it gets you 7 days to 10 days to figure out whether or not you actually want to buy the house. And throughout this closing process, there's going to be bunches of documents and other things that you need to sign. So make sure you're always checking your email, because your lender's going to send you something and then title's going to send you something. You need to make sure these things are getting signed. Otherwise, things are going to slow down and you don't really want that to happen, especially in today's market. So the next thing that's going to happen after your inspection is you are going to renegotiate. If things come up in the inspection, then renegotiate based on those things. If things don't come up, then great, just proceed to the next step. The next step is ordering the appraisal. So what do? You call up your lender and tell them, hey, inspections went great. Or you tell them, hey, these things are getting fixed in the inspection, but we're gonna go ahead and order the appraisal. And they get on that right away. They charge you about $800 and they send somebody to the property who takes a look at the house and makes sure it's actually worth what you're buying it for. The appraisal is going to come in either high, low, or just right. Just right is great. Too high is also good because that means you're getting a good deal, but too low can affect things. If you are only putting 3.5% down and that appraisal comes in really low, then they're not going to lend on that property for what you need. So you're going to either have to, 1, back out, or 2, come up with more cash to put into the deal and kind of marginalize where that appraisal came in. So if you're buying a $300,000 house and you're putting 3.5% down, then you're only putting $9,000 down. So you're getting a loan for $291,000. But if the appraisal doesn't come in at least $291,000, then you're gonna have to come up with more cash. So if the appraisal comes in at $250,000, they're gonna expect you to put $41,000 down. And I know all of these numbers can seem kind of complicated, but if anything comes up that you don't understand, just drop a comment below and I'm happy to help. All right, on to one of the last steps. The appraisal has come in, it's looking good. You've gotten everything fixed from the inspection that you wanted fixed. And now what you do is you make sure the financing is set. So you do that final evaluation of all the finances. Your loan officer, whoever is dealing with the mortgage, puts everything through, finalizes everything, and you're set to pretty much close. And one of the actual final steps is going to be your final walkthrough. So go through the entire house, line item by line item, make sure all the inspection stuff is cleared, make sure there's nothing that surprises you so you don't get to the actual closing day and try to back out. So you're going to do a final walkthrough about 3 days before closing, and then you're going to be on to closing. So when you're coming up on this closing date, you're going to get a bunch of different documents to be signing and everything. There's a lot of signing to go on. But basically, when you're getting closer and closer to that date, you're going to have the mortgage details get finalized. And what's going to happen is your loan officer is going to finalize all of your financials, all of your debt, to confirm you can actually afford this house, so that you don't get to the actual day of closing, but you can't afford it. But on to the final step is just signing those final papers. You'll either sign them digitally out of the mobile notary, or you'll go to the actual title company and sign them there. You'll pretty much just be signing a lot of paperwork. Feels kind of like you're signing your life away, which you kind of are. You're putting, $300,000 on your name because you're buying a literal house. But all things said, you're pretty much done at that point. There's a couple of little things that you want to do after closing, of course, like take a cool photo with your realtor. It's really fun, but you're going to go to the house. You're going to make sure the keys work. You're going to make sure you have all the keys, make sure you have everything you need from the previous owners, garage door clickers, shed keys, whatever is associated with the house and that you were supposed to have, then you're going to need to get that. And after that initial closing day, you're going to want to do a few things, just double check all of the appliances, double check the water, double check literally everything, and make sure your home warranty is set up for what you want your home warranty to be set up for. Because some things, they add up and they come out of nowhere, but a home warranty, they'll get you covered. So now that you've closed, it's your house, you're moving in, make sure you always change your locks, okay? I don't want to, stress it too much, but it's important to change your locks to keys that nobody else could possibly have. It's very important. But guess what? That's literally it. It doesn't really take that much, like time, effort, whatever, to actually buy a house. It's just a few simple things that you need to just know about. So you're going to be working with a lender. You're going to be working possibly with a buyer's agent. You're going to do an inspection. You're going to have the appraisal done, and you're going to close. There's a few things in there that need to be, remembered. But if you need help with anything or a buyer's guide, I have plenty of information and helpful stuff for you online. Plus, I'm happy to help you buy a house however you want. But let's go through the numbers really quick on a $300,000 house. Okay, so it's kind of hard to give you exact numbers for a $300,000 house because it varies on a few things. It varies on if there's a really expensive HOA or no HOA at all. It depends how bad the property taxes are there. It depends how bad your homeowner's insurance are going to be. So I'm going to give you an average right here, right now. So $300,000, you're going to be putting down $10,500. So make sure you have $10,500 ready to be put down, but you also have to factor in closing costs. Basically, just take that number and add another $10,000 to it. So make sure you have $20,000 at the ready to close, but that's only if the seller's not giving you any concessions. So it might be a little bit better than that. And your monthly payment is going to be somewhere around $2,500 and $2,600. And your monthly payment is going to be somewhere around $2,500 and $2,600 a month, depending on a few things. One of the things that is kind of universal though is your principal and interest payment. So if you had a 6% interest rate on that $300,000 house, then your monthly payment on the principal and the interest would be somewhere around $1,700 to $1,800 a month. And everything on top of that, payment related, is just cherry on top, Your HOA could be $100, it could be $600, it could be $10. Your taxes could be nothing if you get a really good exemption and stuff, or it could be multiple $1,000s a month, just depending on where you live and how expensive the house is. But for this $300,000 house, let's just say you have a $10 a month HOA payment, and your taxes, if it's at 2%, then it's about $500 a month. And adding up all these numbers gets us to that $2,500, $2,600 a month payment for a $300,000 house. So thank you so much for watching this video on how to buy a house in the greater Austin area in 2025. If you need help buying a house, or any of your friends or family, please let me know, and I would be happy to help in any way I can. Even if you're already under contract with another realtor and you just need some advice, I got you, okay? So thank you so much again for watching this video, and I will talk to you soon.